Hey everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Thorton Hills Zoo in Planet Coaster. So today in Thornton Hills Zoo, we're basically going to pick up right where we left off there. And I'm taking in a lot of your comments into consideration here as we're expanding out. And thanks so much to everyone that commented in the last video. There was quite a few of you and you all came up with some really good ideas in what to put in the empty area just across from our okapi and camel pens and stuff like that there. So again, thanks so much everyone that commented. And we're actually going to be using some of your comments for inspiration today. So a lot of people were saying that we should maybe put like maybe like a historic building or like a farmhouse over there that they've kind of repurposed into like maybe like a restaurant or a cafe or like a meeting area or a convention area kind of thing. I really like that idea. I thought that was really cool. So we're gonna go ahead and be doing that today after we finish up our pen over here. If you remember from the last episode, I mentioned at the end of it that we were gonna add in 2 more of these kind of pens here that we have our camel and okapi in, but only one of them was gonna be filled up, right? So that's what we're kind of doing here after we put in just a few more trees in our okapi habitat there. Again, thanks so much to the person that commented about the okapi not having enough trees. I wanted to put in a few more trees, but I guess just to reiterate that I'm not, going for... How to explain it? I'm going for, again, a realistic, zoo, realistic United States, I guess you'd say, like regional kind of zoo. So while, some of the habitats you might be like, oh, well, they, realistically, the animal would want some more trees in their habitat because they're a shy animal. Totally, 100%. You're totally right on that one. But you have to keep in mind that since we're going for that realistic kind of zoo build, that, not all zoos can really meet the requirements, of the animal that they're housing. And that's what this part here is. We're going to be in the future habitats and exhibits once we get to the modern part of the zoo where they're really kind of focusing on the animal welfare. Then we'll definitely, focus on what the animals would, their habitats will look super duper realistic for their area of the world that they're from and their ecosystem and all that stuff. But again, this little area here is just still kind of in flux a little bit where, some of the pens, actually this one to the left that we're working on is actually abandoned and they're getting ready to kind of do construction on it and take it out. This whole area, they, in the zoo's timeline or in the zoo's lore there, this whole area would be getting ready to be ripped out and redone because, just like, people mentioned that, like, the okapi exhibit is definitely not like their natural area. There's not enough trees. It's, and the animal welfare is not the greatest that it could be. So that's, I guess, just a little bit more explaining of my thinking there for that. So here we are starting to construct on the building across the way. So my mindset for this is to kind of I kept the somewhat of the same style that we've had for the older part of the zoo. A lot of the the brick, the limestone, the kind of classical architecture used for it, that kind of older Chicago, I guess Pittsburgh kind of feel to it. And so yeah, we're just kind of going with that. And again, this building would be we put inside here, we put like a gift shop. I think we put everything, like a gift shop, balloon shop, or whatever, drinks, burgers, you name everything that we can. I'm pretty sure we put every single thing in there. So, but yeah, there is that, and we make the building big enough that again it could be used for, like conference centers or just renting out the place for birthday parties and stuff like that. And it's just another kind of historic building there. This will probably be the last sort of historic building that we do. As we're coming towards the end of this little row here, this is going to be kind of the last little bit of the I guess you'd say the older zoo, right? We're going to start to turn it into the modern zoo, which I'm really excited to do because as much fun as it is to build in this classic kind of style, I've been really looking forward to building the more modern habitats and stuff like that. I've been really kind of restricting myself as far as building really lush and vibrant and just really cool looking exhibits and habitats, and that's why I've been doing the one-off builds. I think a lot of you have been watching the one-off habitat builds that we've been doing. And that's been really fun. It's been kind of a nice equalizer while playing this still brand new game here, right? Planet Zoo's only been out for like a little over a week, basically. So I while I'm having fun building in Thornton Hills Zoo, I also have fun building the kind of more elaborate kind of habitats there for animals and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's been nice to kind of balance out the two. But again, the overall point is that this will probably be the last little bit of old zoo that we build. After this, it's going to be primarily a newer kind of zoo for the most part there. So, as we're kind of completing this classic structure here, you'll maybe see on the right hand, right there on the right hand side that I added in some wood there, and that is I didn't finish it. We're gonna take a look at it in real time, but I didn't finish it. But I started a kind of modern cafe / modern like coffee house, I guess you'd say, like attachment to this building. So again, like I said, this whole area here in the coming years for like the zoo's quote unquote master plan would definitely be going through like a renovation. But that doesn't mean that the zoo may have gone through it a few years back and added on like a coffee shop or a cafe or something like that. Again, I think someone commented about that, and that was a really great idea to add like a coffee shop or something like that over here. So yeah, that's what that is going to be. And again, it's gonna be really cool, like kind of modern architecture with it. You'll kind of see the feel that we're going for it. If you've seen like the more modern Starbucks and stuff like that with the the really sleek wood and just kind of almost an industrial kind of modern feel to it, and that's kind of what I want to do with the attachment there. So you're gonna have this really stark contrast. I think it'll work out really well as we build it up. But you'll have this stark contrast between the this really old classic again kind of Chicago style architecture building, and then attached to it is that really sleek industrial modern kind of feel. So I think the two will kind of complement each other really well there. So but as we're finishing up the little bit of touches there to our restaurant and cafe and coffee house and reservations, the big old building there, let's talk about some news that we got today. So today, as of recording this, it is November 14th, and holy heck, was it Frontier News Day. If you were out of the loop just a little bit, for Planet Zoo at least, we had 2 patches today. One of the first patches came along and was supposed to fix a whole bunch of stability bugs, and a lot of every single different mode got a patch for it, at least one patch for it. Some of the major ones that concern me are for the building mode there. They added a lot more. I think the recolorability, you can select multiple pieces and recolor them now. They said that they fixed the X bug where if you're pushing X for the advanced move tool, that it would be fixed now. Unfortunately, I'm still being hit with that. But yeah, just a whole bunch of other patches, and unfortunately, one of the things that they introduced, and it seems like it was a mistake, was that they added in that your habitats, if they had rocks in them, like actual placed rocks, that started to count towards your rock terrain modification for the animal. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like in the when you're doing the animal welfare and you're looking at their terrain, it says they need grass and soil, and then there's rock. Well, before, if you put down rocks inside the habitat, it wouldn't count towards their rock their rock modification or whatever, their welfare or whatever. But now they just randomly threw it in there with this patch, and everyone was like, wait, what? Wait, why is this you didn't even mention it in the patch notes, and this is random. And then like probably an hour after the patch was up, Frontier was even like, or Bo and Shantae, they were on it right away. They were just kind of like, yeah, that was a mistake. So probably about 4 or 5 hours after the initial patch came out, Frontier was, on it like hot lightning there, basically, and we had ourselves another patch come out, kind of reverting it. So that was kind of the exciting little bit of time there. It was Rockgate. For a little bit, we had Rockgate going on, and the Planet Zoo community collectively was freaking out. So we had that go on, and then Jurassic World Evolution announced that they have an expansion coming out for like a Jurassic Park expansion coming out in December. That looks really cool. I've never really played too much Jurassic World Evolution, but that kind of piqued my interest there a little bit. And then Planet Coaster, the game that we, some of us were kind of writing off as never getting any kind of updates or anything like that again. Oh, look, copy. We'll talk about this, I swear. Planet Coaster has announced that it's coming out on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 next year in 2020. So today was just like the info dump day for Frontier, and that's kind of just like, whoa. So yeah, it was a very exciting day for all that information there. So here we are putting in the Okapi, and just before then, I know I kind of skipped over it, but there was nothing too much about it. I put in a staff building, and I kind of themed it up, just there it is, we're not done, that's right, I had serious ADHD when building this. I think I've mentioned it before, but a lot of times, if you're the kind of person that's like wanting to watch a builder build like one building at a time, I probably am not the best person to watch. I will try my best, but I really have like significant ADHD, so I really will get like, I'll be building something and I'll be like, wow, this is fun, but look at this cool thing over here, and then I'll go across the zoo and start building that, and then give me 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour if my interest starts to wane. And again, people that have like legit have ADHD, you'll understand, but if my attention starts to wane, then I just start to go away. So I try and like stay focused when I'm building, but a lot of times you'll kind of see me drift around, and that's just because it's really hard for me to stay focused in one spot, or I just kind of get bored in one spot. So that's the little background on why we're just kind of flinging around the zoo there. But as you saw, we did put in the Okapi there, and I love those animals. I keep saying Okapi, I'm sorry, tapirs. We put in tapirs, and for the tapirs, I kind of harken back to what we were talking about with the Okapis, with the their foliage and stuff. What I did for them was I added in a few jungle plants here and there, but I put them in like collections, because you'll see this in some zoo habitats and stuff for like South American animals that are in like again like the Brookfield Zoo or something like that, where it's in Chicago or New York. They'll put in like little patches that are usually kind of potted patches or temporary patches of like the animal's natural biome plants, basically. So I put in some monstera plants, some elephant ear plants, and different kind of tropic plants, but not like a wide variety, because they don't grow naturally in the area that this zoo is from. So they wouldn't thrive. Every single time the winter would come, they would go away basically, and have to be repotted, replanted. But at least the zoo kind of puts them out just a little bit, and little patches here and there. So I kind of did that just a little bit there. So, so we work on this little staff building here. The idea behind this staff building is I thought it'd be kind of an older building that was repurposed into a staff building. You see this a lot with zoos. I'm sure we've talked about it before. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you see this a lot with zoos where they'll take old houses, like the old pachyderm house or the old lion house, the old orangutan house, whatever, you name it, and they'll repurpose it into an administration building or a gift shop, or in this case we're going to do it's a staff room basically. So I can't remember, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head if it's specifically any kind of building. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it is. So comment down below if you've made it this far in the video. What do you think that, I know it's kind of hard to see, we'll get a better look in the real time here in just a minute, but yeah, comment down below what you think the old building used to be there. What maybe it used to be an old administration building or an old aviary house, whatever. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And again, as you've seen, if you do comment below, and I try to read every single one of your comments because you're awesome enough to comment, so I may as well read them, right? A lot of the ideas get put in here. So, and here's the last thing we're going to put in before we jump into the real time here, which is just a little kind of eating area, a little picnic area there that's just off to the side of the the big restaurant and cafe and coffee house and all that kind of fun stuff there. So, but yeah, no, that pretty much wraps up the speed build. Yeah, there we go, the speed build. The speed build here. So we'll go and finish this out, and then we'll kind of jump into the real time and just kind of do a quick flyover and talk about what we have planned for the future of Thornton Hills Zoo there. So we'll see you in the real time in just a minute. Okay, so here we are at the front of the zoo. Let's go ahead and make our way over to the new area over here. So, squawk, squawk, got our flamingos over there hanging out still. They're all doing super well. Actually, of course they are. What am I talking about? I turned off all the animal welfare stuff that I could there. So, we have to make our way back towards the new stuff over here. Have our camels still hanging out, making all the noise. Creepy crawlies on the left. Here's the first new thing here. So we have our staff room, and I got this chain link fence just in case. I know some people are going to probably wonder because you're going to look in your construction tab and not know where the chain link fence is. This is just a barrier, so don't forget in our barriers, you know, we can use those for fences and stuff. We have chain link fences and that, so that's what I used for that there. And then yeah, this is our really kind of highly themed up staff room a little bit. I might push this off the path just a little bit here now that I'm getting a look at it and you can kind of see it really out in the open, or just maybe put some more bushes along the side of the path to kind of hide it up a little bit. But again, we're just kind of trying to give it the feel that it's a older style building that was kind of repurposed into a staff room there. So there it is. Again, comment down below, what do you think this building used to be? Maybe an administration building? You know, who knows? But there is that there. Is there someone hanging out inside? There are. Good. Get back to work. Jeez. Lazy good for nothing, I tell you what. Alright, so now we come down this way. Oh, yeah, look at that. You start to get some views of the building and stuff there. So come down this way and we'll take a look at our okape. Don't feed them. You can see we put in a few more trees there. I tried to put in just a few more to kind of give some more coverage. But again, not too many. Just a few more there. So there they are. On our back left here, there we are. We have our little seating area, little picnic area. I love this little area. I could see myself just hanging out here, sitting down, and sitting across watching the okapi and people watching mainly. That's what I do at a zoo. I'd people watch instead. So I tried to do kind of a weird, kind of neat effect, I guess you'd say here, of sinking down these pieces. These, what do you call these? The brick pieces here, the brick floor pieces. Trying to sink those down a little bit to get, you know, you kind of get this almost just like old brick feel to it, where it's kind of staggered a little bit. Do this in Planet Coaster here and there to kind of give a broken brick look. But yeah, try to do that a little bit here as well there. So yeah, as we come up over here, you can start to see all the new stuff and some of the stuff that we didn't get to see in the video that I started. But yeah, there is the administration, or the old administration building, or old something zoo building. I feel like everything I build that's old, I call it administration building. But yeah, here's our new retrofitted cafe and stuff like that. So there you are there. We'll poke our heads inside. There's no interior, but you know, you can still see that, yeah, we do have stuff. So there is that. Here's the back side of it. I did a little bit preparation for the back side here because we are going to be turning this back road here, this perimeter back road here. We're going to be theming that up and getting our backstage set and stuff like that there. So kind of trying to get stuff kind of prepped up for that. So there we are. And then yeah, this started on what I was talking about before, kind of a modern cafe building, I guess you'd say. So we have a Street Fox coffee in there now. I'm not totally sold on this right now. It's really tall. It's a lot taller than I'd like it to be. The general shape and everything, I kind of dig. I kind of want to go that direction with it overall. But I kind of feel like it might be a little bit tall. And unfortunately, having to putting a Street Fox coffee in there, which is a 4-meter tall building already, you're kind of having to start a little bit big already, which kind of stinks, but we'll see what we can do with it. We'll see what we can do. So that's the start. And if anything, if it stays there, we're going to have like a little passage, I guess, right here, like a new added on passage that people could get from this building over here over to there. So there is that, and then we'll look across at the last two new additions here, which were the tapirs. So here is one of our tapirs. Oh yeah, there he is. Hanging out, having a good time. Matzil. Matzil the tapir. So again, this is very similar to the other exhibits that we already have, right? So nothing too different. And here's like I was talking about in the time lapse of just a few little patches of the like South American type tropical plants out there, but again, not like, you know, the whole exhibit is not a tropical exhibit, right? Because it's out in the open air, and during the wintertime, you know, all these tropical plants would go bye-bye. They die because of the wintertime. And then over here, here's the, I don't want to say abandoned, but purposely not being used pen. Just that, you know, whatever animal was here, maybe it was like, you know, a lot of people mentioned putting in bison over here and stuff. Maybe there was a bison over here, but they stopped using it because, you know, in the future here, you can kind of see I started to future map out a little bit. There's going to be a North American area that was built in the last, you know, 5, 6, 7 years in the zoo's history. So the bison and, you know, all the North American animals are going to be over there, and they're going to have a really nice new area. So the area where the bison used to be, this pen here is kind of, you know, not needed anymore, not being used at all. So you can see it's kind of a little bit more overgrown. The building itself is not really being kept up too well there, with vines growing on it and stuff like that. So, but again, the overall idea for the zoo would be this whole little wing right here, this whole area, you know, is the older part of the zoo right now, and the rest of it is going to be kind of the newer part where they've been kind of revamping the zoo over the last, you know, decade or so. And again, this is the last little bit that they haven't done. So that's why this area is, you know, it's been a little bit slower going, not as exciting, you know, as for the overall, you know, Planet Zoo building goes, kind of really basic kind of stuff. But that's just kind of, again, that's just kind of showing, you know, how zoos evolve over time, and, you know, our zoo is going to be like that. So when you kind of back out at Thornton Zoo and we see the rest of it, you know, like you'll be able to see, oh, really lush, awesome ecosystems, habitats, and then, you know, this little area that's like, okay, that's the older part of the zoo there. So that's just kind of my ideas behind it. Hopefully y'all are, you know, I'm explaining myself well enough, communicating myself well enough that you're all, you know, on board with me there. So, but cool, let's go ahead and we'll, since we did put in the tapirs, we'll kind of hang out with them here as we wrap up there. So yeah, no, we got a lot done there, and in the future episodes we're going to be adding in probably some backstage stuff. I need to start focusing on some backstage stuff, and in the next episode or two we're going to finally start one of our big areas, one of our, you know, North American section, or the big African safari section, one of the more modern areas of the zoo. We kind of got these the older part done, so now we can kind of move on to the newer part there. So awesome. Hey, thanks so much for everyone for hanging out. Don't forget, comment down below, let me know what you're thinking of the zoo so far. What do you think we should do for future plans and stuff like that? Do you have any habitat ideas and stuff like that? Would love to hear them down below. So yeah, thanks so much everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode there of Thornton Hills Zoo.